The reason that we're seeing the Australian Constructors Association, the Energy Supply Association and Infrastructure Partnerships Australia come together with Blake Dawson on this research is because it is fundamentally important to the energy sector, to the broader infrastructure sector and to the construction sector that we are able to continue to harness best practice in terms of the scoping of risk, in terms of getting projects done well. It's in everybody's interest that we're able to clearly identify what the risks are in projects and make sure that they're adequately dealt with so that we are getting the best projects delivered at the best value. The major pressures that we're facing in the infrastructure sector is a level of demand for new and renewed investment that's fast outstripping the capacity of governments to efficiently respond. And that's having real impacts in terms of national productivity. It's having real impacts in terms of the quality of life for mums and dads, for families around Australia. So it's a very serious problem. It's impacting both our future prosperity but also our current living standards. And in that respect, it really demands some considered solutions out of government. I mean, overlaying that basic demand challenge in terms of the backlog of infrastructure, we're seeing an increasing challenge in terms of the level of skill and the quantity of labour that's available to get these projects done. And when you look at the size, the sheer size and scope of the resources projects that we're seeing coming to market over the coming years, you're talking projects of an unprecedented scale, very significant labour force demand, very significant skill demand. That is going to flow through in terms of the cost of the projects that we're delivering, but also, in its rawest sense, the capability of Australia to efficiently deliver these projects. We're facing a very significant financial capability problem from governments in terms of the infrastructure that needs to be delivered. We're looking at a backlog that's estimated at somewhere around $700 billion over the decade. That's around double the current levels of infrastructure investment that needs to be found. So there are a range of challenges that are facing Australia in terms of the ability to address the backlog, to locate the skills that are required to get these projects done. And we're facing an ongoing challenge in terms of making sure that the scoping of projects, the allocation of risk, is up to standard so that we're not seeing the private sector taking a bath and we're not seeing publicly delivered projects suffering cost and time overruns. All of these are very significant challenges that we face, but they're ones that we will be able to address if we have the right strategies, if we have the right focus from government and the private sector to efficiently respond. The identification of risks in projects and the apportionment of those risks between the public and private sector parties in terms of infrastructure projects is an issue of great currency. We've seen a range of projects where risks have not been adequately scoped beforehand, and that's had real impacts in terms of the financial survivability of a range of projects. That has flow-ons in terms of market appetite to undertake projects, in terms of the sustainability of the infrastructure marketplace in Australia. So it is very important that we continue to harness best practice, that we continue to see where projects have gone wrong, where projects have gone right, and how we can adequately adjust the strategies of the public and private sectors to make sure that these projects are being delivered at best value.